There is a change coming. So we are going to be in the midst of a very mobile workforce, and a workforce that is not going to be, their loyalty cannot be bought necessarily through money. Because, again, we've got that mortgage issue. They're not as tied to homes. And one of the things that we'll be doing after this forum is releasing some short videos that Sarah has been able to get from her students, talking about what they expect from employers. And there's some great surprises there in terms of expectations from employers, what makes a good employer. Let's all be outliers. As a researcher, I can tell you that I have removed more outliers from my data than I care to remember. They disrupt it. I don't like it. I like everything to look nice and smooth. But now I'm thinking, actually, what can we learn from outliers? I've pulled together a group of outliers from my own networks and also Tom's today to come and share their experiences with you and to start us thinking more broadly about how we can be outliers and think differently about gender equality. These things actually are here to remind us that regardless of what our policies say, regardless of what people are telling us, when we think about the way in which we operate in business and the way in which our organisations operate, it is a very, very gendered experience. And we know that women will have about $1 million less in earnings over the life course, and we know that they end up with less super. Now, these figures haven't actually changed a great deal, certainly since I've been a researcher, and I would argue probably in the last sort of 25 to 30 years, they really haven't shifted a great deal. When you think about all the work that you're doing in your organisations to bring about greater gender equality, something's not working. The other part is, of course, men, particularly around caregiving, are very much in a negative situation because they're often the primary breadwinners. So again, I urge you to think more broadly about what it means to be gendered. It's very clear that gender is an integral rather than peripheral influence on one's life course. It relates very much to what happens after birth. We know that we have a relatively equal trajectory from a research perspective. We go to school, we get jobs, there's a little bit of disparity in graduate salaries, but it is actually this slippery slope once women give birth and then trying to not just take that step back into from the workplace to care, but taking that step forward. We need to do more than offer our employees flexibility. Saying to a dad, yes, you can leave early to go and pick up Timmy from daycare is not revolutionary. And because it actually doesn't change the nature or the structure of the way in which we work, we know from a research perspective, both my data and others before me have found that it doesn't change the gender contract at all at work. It's helpful for existing need, but it will not transform organisations to a more gender equal experience. Structural change needs to occur, and we actually need to break down this ideal worker norm and ideal carer norm.